And joining me now is storm chaser Omar Gonzalez. Omar, thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning.
You were down in Tampa. Where are you now? What has that drive been like through Florida?
Correct. 36 hours ago, I was in Tallahassee, Florida, where conditions were pretty bad. What I had to witness was just truly heartbreaking. As Hurricane Helene made landfall, conditions deteriorated, and I was in the downtown area in Tallahassee, and what I witnessed was just heartbreaking. There was, I witnessed the unhoused sleeping in doorsteps of churches. I witnessed individuals who didn't have places to go, who slept in parking garages and stairwells. I also, while I was driving during the storm, while I was documenting the storm, there was a graduate, Ryan was his name. He was running down the street. He was running down the street in distress, and I saw an individual who needed help at that time. And I stopped next to him, and I extended a hand, and I said, "Hey, get in the car. Where are you going? What's going on?" And he shared with me that he parked his car in a parking garage roughly 2 miles away from his house because he was concerned about flooding. And while he was going back to his house, he did not expect the storm to move in as quick as it did, and that's what it did. It slingshot through the panhandle, and he was caught in the middle of a hurricane. And I was able to help him out, and I dropped him off at his house roughly 2 miles away. And
Nice.
after that, I drove down Interstate 10, where there was a tree roughly 35 feet in length covering Interstate 10, and it was just heartbreaking because there was cars braking to avoid a collision with this tree. All this was caught on my live stream on my Twitter. It was definitely impactful. Also, I have a friend, Joelle, whose niece lives in the Tampa region. She lives in Riverview. She's lost it all. She's lost it all due to flooding.
How does
it's just hard.
How does this
Yes, sir.
compare? How long have you been chasing storms for, and how does this compare to some of the other hurricanes that you've covered?
Correct. I've chased quite a couple of storms here, for about 2 years now. And this storm here, it really wasn't about the wind. This storm here was about the surge and the catastrophic impacts and the houses that were lost and the lives that were lost. It was just breathtaking and heartbreaking.
And are you going up through the? Are you following the trail of it right now, or are you just staying down in the Florida area?
Correct. So I was in the Tallahassee area roughly 36 hours ago, and I traveled through the Big Bend region. I ended up in Perry, Florida, where I witnessed roofs that were taken off of structures. I witnessed, flooding. I witnessed gas stations that were just completely destroyed. It's just something that you hear about it, but you're not really prepared once you see it. The last Hurricane Francine, it was more of the wind, but this one here, when you see houses reaching the rooftop of homes, it takes you back. It takes you back, and it just breaks your heart sometimes what you do, and witnessing what you're seeing.
How do you stay safe when you're in the middle of these? I mean, the hurricane winds were peaking at 150 miles an hour. Was that the peak winds? I think I heard. How are you staying safe with storm surges like that?
That is correct. So before any storm, what I do, I formulate a game plan. I look on Google Maps and I do my research. I follow what the National Hurricane Center advises, and what I do is I present targets, areas where if I have to boogie out, I'm able to arrive at a safe location, such as parking garages, structures that are heavily built. Those are based when I'm in towns like that. That's where I target. I like to avoid the surge. It's something that no one should play with. So that's typically what I do. I research, I have a game plan, and I execute on the day of landfall.
Okay, Omar, thank you very much for joining us and sharing your experiences there. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Storm chaser Omar Gonzalez.